Boys and girls, ladies and gents, it's been a hot little minute since I recorded a video, but if y'all don't remember, we have now migrated into 1484 and we are in a brand new KVK. Over here in the top right, we have 1484. Over here in the top left, we have, I believe this is 1188. Yep. So this looks like our potential first fight, which is looking pretty scrumptious, pretty yummy, if I do say so myself. Below us right here, we have 2010, another good Imperium Kingdom, as I know. Down here, we have 1979. I don't know them super well, but it's cool to be in the same KVK as them. Down here, we have the notorious 2489. If you guys have been betting at all in OL, you've probably seen every single one of these alliances absolutely ripping it up in their section, so pretty cool. If you guys remember our KVK2, we were allied with them back in 2500, so it's cool to see them back here again, but obviously they are nowhere near the same kingdom they were. Very absolutely massive Imperium, I believe debatably like the third best in the game right now. I believe like the top three might be looking something like 960, 365, 1093, no particular order, with 2489 below them, so forth. Pretty good. Pretty good. Over here we got 2133. I'm pretty sure there's like two more KDs in here that are sharing camps with other KDs, and if I didn't name them out, that's unfortunate. It happens sometimes. But anyway, point is, we're doing a 2v6 this KVK, so it is us in 2489 against the world. From what I understand, there might be a couple camps not participating, but they're also lining up the pass, so I'm not entirely sure on how that's going to look. I'm not going to really overthink it. If they fight, they fight. If they don't, they don't fight. 2v6, 2v4. Either way, it looks like I'm going to have some good fights, and I'll call that a day. Over here, we'll just check out the rankings real quick, just so you guys can kind of see everything and feel good about it. As you can see, this is a absolutely chock full KVK. Yeah, this is nothing like any of the KVKs we had in 2500. This is absolutely jam-packed, full of just absolutely massive players, you know, from Baba, Cyborg, you know, players like this, and we're just absolutely just chock full of people. Super high kill points, super high alliances, super high power, and everybody here looking to just beat the hell out of each other. It's awesome. At 2.5 bill KP, roughly, I'm at like rank 900 in the KVK, which is, you know, kind of tough, but it is what it is. Got a cool 55 bill resources gathered. Usually I don't look at this, but this is kind of obnoxious. Okay, well, that is the KVK. So now I'm going to start going into stuff over my account. Right now we have our Crystal Mine at 25. We've been playing the KVK for about 1 week. So Crystal Mine at 25, Crystal Research Center at 7, or at 20. We finished our first section, treaties, cultural exchange, eyes on England. You already know what's up. Skillful operation. Right now we're working on getting treaties 2, cultural exchange 2, both up to 7. Then we come back here, we get plunder to 5. Then we come back up here, eyes on England, plunder also all the way up. Then we get Karaku's gift up. We get the other Karaku's gift up. Skillful operation gets maxed. The academy gets maxed. Actually, the academy gets maxed, then skillful operation. And then we start doing call to arms and the rest of it. I just want to make sure that I have really good crystal tech before I start going too ham on it. But anyway, that's our plan right now. Nothing too crazy. It's the same thing we do every single time. We're going to suffer when it comes to going into our next section in terms of like the zone 5, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue for later in the KVK. Ideally, if I can get like 80 to 100 mil crystal spent per KVK, I'm in a really good spot just in terms of account progression. And that is more important than having like a really strong zone 5 for most purposes. So over here we have auxiliary skills. Auxiliary skills are a unique thing brought into the New Orleans KVK. It's really nice because you just get to like stack on basically your own personalized bastions. Right now I have all my barbing commanders on my other barbing commanders, so I can just chain as much as I want, as hard as I want, and it really helps out a ton. In terms of combat, right now I've got a Mehmed on my Alex, I have a Mehmed on my Nevsky, I have a Ethelfled on my Guan, and then I have a Boudica right now on my Boudica, but I'm going to swap this out probably for Thutmose, I believe. To further extrapolate on what I'm doing with the auxiliary skills, because 3 and 4 aren't full right now, every time I get to max writs, I just kind of put like random skills on random commanders, because when you refund these skills, you get a certain amount of writs back, but there's a maximum of 5,000. So you may see like a bunch of just random skills, and you're like, why would he put like these random skills on these random commanders? And the fact of the matter is, it just doesn't matter. I want to make sure that it's not maxed. Overall, there's not like a really big plan right now, simply because like I don't have access to any of the later commanders for auxiliary skills. However, know that like Alex's auxiliary skill is going to be coming out. Probably YSG's auxiliary skill is going to be coming out. Bjorn, Sun Tzu, perhaps El Cid, Julius Caesar's second, Julius Caesar, Frederick the Fourth, the Frederick the First's fourth is probably going to come out. I might consider like re-rolling Edward of Woodstock and seeing if I can get a second. There's like a plethora of different combinations you can make, but right now the only thing that I'm really thinking about is how can I make sure that I can refund Ritz later, and that's pretty easy. Bastion wise, we have access to 4 out of 5 Bastions. I could go to like another alliance and like get the easier Bastions, but it doesn't really matter that much to me. The Bastions are, yeah, they're okay, but they're mostly just for quests. So unless I max on my quests, I don't really have a huge reason to move. Currently for this KVK, we're gonna be running 3 marches instead of 4. You may notice I'm a little dry on resources. My farms have been gathering quite a lot, but I just don't have that much because I recently came to 1484. I might get helped out a little bit by people in my alliance, but I haven't like made any kind of like pre-existing like confirmation on that. So if there is some, cool. If there's not, I'm just gonna have to play as efficient as possible. And my efficiency is gonna look something like Guan Scipio, Boudica ZL, Nevsky Joan. I have a very heavy feeling that I'm going to be expertising ZL. I like QB, I like William. The issue is I don't know. I do know actually. I cannot gear QB William in time to really use him on the open field. And with that being said, getting ZL to expertise is pretty good. His force skill isn't the best thing on the planet, but it's pretty strong, and his expertise is pretty strong. Joan is just not worth expertising, and Boudica would probably be like another good target there. But although I like Boudica's fourth and I like her expertise, it's not good enough to the point where I would take that over taking expertise ZL. I think expertise ZL is probably the most reasonable move from here, and then I wait for the next infantry, and then I can make something like Guan Alex Scipio new infantry, or Guan Scipio new infantry and Alex, or new infantry and YSG works as well, or Guan new infantry Scipio YSG. Point is, there's a bunch of different options for making 2 infantry marches, and so that's probably where I'm going to be going in the future. One last thing, usually I don't show off my armaments because I showed them off last time. My armaments got much better. My infantry armaments, this may actually be like one of the best armament sets that I have seen personally, and these are my F2P armaments. These are ludicrous. I might make a video on like how I approach armaments and like what I do with transmutation stones, because I mean like my other sets aren't bad. I mean, they're not great, we'll say, but I mean, they're pretty decent, right? Like, nobody's really looking at these sets and going, oh, like, putrid, like, I really don't want these. And it has come to my attention that people have spent, like, thousands to not have the same level of armaments that I do. So with that being said, this is, like, my backup, like, triple line for boot. But I mean, like, with that being said, like, I'm probably going to look into making maybe like some kind of armament guide just to kind of help people in terms of what they're currently doing. We also did make a few extra pieces of legendary gear. I believe we made 2 since my last video. So that was a new Ring of Doom. This is going to make sure that I have 3 marches, 3 rings. Right? And then we also built a Witch's Crimson Bracers. We are now 0 for 14 for on-crit crafts, which is probably one of the most upsetting things ever. But I can't really do much about it, so I just kind of accept it for what it is. In terms of gear right now, I really don't know what I'm working on. In terms of buying from the shop, I think I'm going to end up buying Persian Dream to try and finish my All Out Rumble avatar frame. But I mean, mostly it's gonna be like Persian Dream and perhaps like it might just be like a ring and a horn, or just a ring. And then working on Persian Dream later. I'm a little frustrated right now with my lack of crits. 0 for 14 is kind of ridiculously unlucky. It's not the most unlucky I've ever seen. It's not something I had originally factored in to how I was going to get to the All Out Rumble avatar frame. However, something pretty cool that we have now is we have these little commanders walking around, and these guys are eventually going to give you emojis. So if you get 50 emojis, it's the same amount of points for getting 6 special talented pieces of gear. So maybe we'll just have to see like what the speed of getting emojis is at, and if they'll actually give me like 50. Over here is our current resources in bag. We're not doing horrible, but I mean, remember we did 1.1 bill KP last KVK, so from last KVK to now was just like me trying to gather up as much as humanly possible, and we're just not where we have to be, especially not gold-wise. I have quite a bit of resources on my farms, but I mean, not enough to where, so like for example, like I would probably be comfortable around 15 to 20 billion resources for like a KVK if I wanted to get like 600 mil to like a bill KP. I don't have that, right? I might have maybe like 10 bill assorted resources right now, or like 8. And then I'm really light on the gold. So that's where I'm putting all my farms right now to try and make sure that I'm in a decent spot for it, but it's kind of a hard thing. Something I find while chaining, especially while chaining with T5, is that I will come positive with wood, food, stone, but I will not come positive with gold. So the more I chain, like you guys will see that like I'm getting like a pretty decent amount of resources here, considering this is like a couple weeks, and it's a pretty good amount of resources, but I mean it's not a pretty good amount of gold, and you know, gold is going to be our main issue here. Over here we have just like all the speeds we've been getting from like chaining and stuff, which is just a very high amount. I mean, we're doing solid. In terms of this, I can't really complain. The 5-minute healing speeds are awesome. I'm going to try and put in as much chaining as I can this KVK. If this KVK is a high contest, which I think it'll be, we're going to need the healing speeds. But if it's not, regardless, like this is an Imperium Kingdom and I'm going to need to be able to put in some more elbow grease per KVK. So I'm going to have to ramp it up a little bit. Over here in our boosts, we have our advanced army expansions. Remember, we use these generally for chaining, which is pretty good. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Equipment, we already showed you guys this, but I mean, I'll go through it again. You can pause if you're really interested, but I mean, nothing too crazy. We have a solid 9 iconic crystals until we finish our like rings and accessories. So I do the minimums, then I do accessories. Until we finish those, I mean, yeah, we're going to be stacking up iconics. Not a huge run on anything right now. And over here, we just are like stacking random things. We don't have a lot to spend these on, and we don't want to be opening extra AP because I'd like to run out of AP so that I can start buying some, which would be really nice. We do in fact have 25,000 RX. We can max the shop. I generally do betting on stream Saturday, like 22 UTC about, and then I post it to the Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's in the description below. If you guys want announcements for when I go live or when I post videos or like whenever anything happens, make sure you go to the role selection tab and turn on announcements. But yeah, every single week we've come out positive for betting. So if you guys are ever interested in that, I basically just look at every intelligent player and I kind of look at all of them and I decide which ratios I like the best, and then I run that. Every single week we come out positive, so if you guys are interested in that, you know, make sure you're in that Discord. Ooh, Hearts of Desire. I'm about to go stream, boys. If you're watching this right now, I might also be live, so, you know, make sure you check that out. We're about to roll this live on stream. I know the boys are gonna be very happy about this. But with that being said, I think that's about it. We covered our marches, we covered our armaments, we covered our gear, covered auxiliaries, covered all of our plans. And I think that'll be about it, boys. Have yourselves an absolutely great one. It was awesome having you guys come through and see the account again. I know it's been a while since I recorded a video, but we will be recording many more to come. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you guys don't mind liking the video, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you guys want to help support the channel, please consider donating to the Streamlabs link in the description below. That is the #1 way to support us. And currently all donations are going towards getting PC upgrades and new cameras and new monitors. So it really helps out a lot, guys. Have yourselves a great one. Love you all. Bye-bye.